Welcome to Waypoint Connect, and it's my privilege to introduce you guys to Leo Hoekstra. Leo, it's great that you're with us this morning. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Leo, let's start with a bit about you.
Yes, so basically from a very young age, I've had a massive passion for filmmaking. And that passion drove me to actually study film after high school. And yeah, in my free time at the moment, I'm looking to actually start my own film company here in PE. And this film that we're going to talk about today is basically my first project of many that I would like to undertake.
So I watched your short film, and from my perspective, loved it.
Thank you.
And I think it's a great tool to have a conversation with people around this topic because it deals with a very difficult and challenging topic, and that's depression.
Yes,
But the name of the film is Verlore,
yes.
but it's got a subtitle.
Yes, so the name of the film is Verlore in Duister,
Yes.
which basically translates to Lost in the Darkness. So the story behind that is that when teenagers go through depression, they really feel like they're lost in the darkness. They don't see a way out, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And that is what drove me to kind of put that into the title. And the subtitle of the film is a story about hope, faith, and perseverance during the darkest times.
Yes.
So that subtitle is basically just to show people what the film is about and yeah, get them to know a bit more about the backstory.
Yeah.
Why the film was made and why yeah, it's important to have that message delivered to them.
So I don't want to have this be a spoiler for a lot of people because I'd love for them to go and see it for themselves. So I'm not going to go into the content much, but rather talk around the film, what you experienced, and maybe what's coming up for you in the future. And I'm excited by the fact that you're turning your passion into this is what I want to do, but it's also opportunity to take other people with me, give other people the platform, because I just look at the cast that you had, and some very talented people there, and they're local people.
Yes.
So I'd love to see how that just becomes a platform for people to also use their talents and their gifts and grow that. So I think it's very commendable what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
So good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
In terms of your project, you said it's the first one after you finished your studies that you did, but tell us a bit about some of the challenges that you faced in terms of filming this and making it.
Okay, so the main challenge was actually filming everything on a cell phone.
Right?
So,
So first off, why the decision to film on cell phone?
well, I don't have a camera.
Right, so that answers that.
Funny enough, I was actually, I don't know if you know Stephen Furtick.
Yeah?
He's a pastor from Elevation. And I was praying about how am I going to make this film because I don't have the equipment, I don't have a camera, I don't have the microphone or a tripod. And I was holding my phone while watching one of his sermons, and the sermon's name was What's in Your Hand?
Right.
And I had the cell phone in my hand, so I was like, okay, that is my answer. I need to use my cell phone to make this film.
Don't wait, don't plan for all of the equipment you need.
Yes,
use what you've got.
What you've got, and it was a big DIY project, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And to your credit, it doesn't look like a DIY credit. I looked at some other people's projects that's got budget behind them, that's got equipment behind it, and yours doesn't look far from that kind of quality product. So really well done in terms of that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So talking about your cell phone and in your hand, the one thing that struck me is the fact that your shots are very stable. So you don't actually see that it's been that you've been shooting it on cell phone. How did you manage that?
My cell phone actually has a built-in stabilizer function.
Right?
Yeah. I actually bought myself a like a DJI Osmo 3, which is a stabilizer for a cell phone.
Okay.
But yeah, it didn't work that well. So I was like, I'm going to use the built-in stabilizer to stabilize the footage.
And that worked for you?
It worked really well. The thing that really made it good to use a cell phone is you can have a lot of flexibility in terms of how you want to frame the shot.
Right.
So actually using a cell phone, it is a big DIY project, but it actually it opened the door to more flexibility in the shots and the type of shots that you can have.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
yes.
And then practically working with your cast, some of the
Yes.
challenges you faced there.
Oh my goodness. So you know that Arne Hichu, he plays Christu in the film.
Right.
So we filmed like a whole segment of the film. And
And now, when you say segment, how many hours?
basically like 2 hours.
Right.
The shot where he's basically in the house and he's talking to, oh, well, I'm not going to give any spoilers.
Yeah.
But we filmed that whole segment. And then after that, he cut his hair. So we had to film the whole thing again. And yeah, that was one of the biggest challenges. Like I was like really frustrated, honestly. But we made it work. And honestly, like the second time we filmed, it actually turned out better than the first time.
Good.
So I feel there's actually a reason why it didn't work out the first time and we had to redo it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like what you said in terms of there's a reason for you to redo it, because
Yes.
it kind of brings me to the next point, and it's kind of a thread in your story that I'm picking up. From what you state in your title and the rider to the title, and in terms of the message of the film,
Yes.
it's clear that a relationship with God is important, and
Yes.
that's key in terms of success in life.
Mm.
How did that translate in terms of how this project came about in the first place?
So this film, it's just the story was just like put in my heart. You know, I wanted to make this, and the thing is, a lot of teenagers go through depression. I mean, it's a massive challenge for a lot of teenagers. You know that during their school years they go through depression, and they don't know how to get out of it at all. And that's what I wanted to show with this film, is that a relationship with God is number one. If you don't have that, then you actually don't have hope. You need that relationship. And another thing that I'd like to show through the film is God puts people in your life to help you out of that depression. So it's very important to actually seek help. You know, in the film, his dad goes to the doctor and he gets him an antidepressant. And the thing is, a lot of teenagers don't want to take pills. They feel that they just don't want to take pills for some reason. And it's very important that they realize that God put these things on earth to help people out of the depression. He put doctors in place, he put parents in place, psychologists and all that, to kind of help guide you to the end of the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And that is something that I'd really like to show and communicate through this film.
And what I see with this film, there aren't many films that you can actually watch with your family.
Yes.
And this, for me, is an easy way of putting this topic on the table. It's kind of awkward sitting around the dining room table having supper, and it's like, let's talk about depression.
Yes.
Or let's talk about your feelings when you talk to your teenage son.
Yes, yeah.
It's awkward and it's weird at the best of times. But watching something like this with your family then creates the opportunity to open up the door and say, it's okay to talk about your feelings.
Yes.
And it's okay to be upset and feel that you don't have this. That's why we're here.
Yes.
So just share a bit about what you're experiencing. So for me as a parent, I really appreciate what you've done, because it just gives us more tools to engage. First of all, create awareness in terms of what's going on in our kids' lives, but also then go through this with our kids and just create that opportunity to have conversations with them about their feelings and about what they're going through. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
And then I want to come back to what you said. You felt that there was a reason why you had to reshoot that. And it's clear from what we've talked about and what you've shared now, how your relationship with God is important. And I think that's part of the key, is that the focus is the relationship. The focus isn't the benefits of that relationship.
Yes.
But out of that relationship, there's benefits for us. So as a Christian, we just have one up to the world where it's not just us and what we can do, but it's if we trust God, we trust the process, it's going to open up doors for us that we wouldn't have seen, like what's in your hand. And in in a different way, force us to redo things that we thought we would be happy with, and he uses that to his advantage. So it's just amazing that it's your passion, it's your heart, having this relationship with God, having other people experience that as well, and then just see that translate into real life and what you're experiencing. Yeah. So in closing, any last funny incidents, stories that you want to share?
Let me think. Okay, so the thing is, there's a lot of bloopers. Like, we had to reshoot so many scenes because people were laughing, like a lot of times, like it was a really serious scene.
Yeah.
And then the scene went really well, and then at the end, like, they just bursted out laughing.
Yeah.
But that also created like a whole like fun and informal kind of way with the filming, and that's also something that I'd like to, with my projects. I mean, it is a professional like kind of project with a meaningful story, but the filming itself needs to be fun. You need to enjoy it.
You need to enjoy the process.
Exactly. Yes.
And as we close, what can we look forward to in terms of what you're working on at the moment?
So actually, I'm working on a sequel to this film. Also, it's a sequel, but also a standalone story.
Right.
And this story will deal with the problem of alcohol and how that can kind of like ruin your life, and how seeking acceptance from the wrong group of people will get you in a lot of trouble. And that is why you need to seek acceptance and your identity in God, in the people that actually care about you, rather than trying to fit in with the wrong friend group.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome project. Can't wait for that to come out. So thank you very much, Leo. And it's great that we could chat to the man behind the camera.
Great, yeah.
and put you in front of the camera for a change.
Yes.
So thank you very much, and good luck with your next project.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And I'm looking forward to chatting to you again about my next project when that has wrapped up.
Great. We're going to put the link for Leo's movie in the description. Make sure that you go and watch it. Use it as an opportunity to engage friends and family and your kids in a conversation around what it is that they're struggling with. And we're looking forward to what Leo's going to do on his next project. And remember, have a great week.
Hy is deesdae so afgesonder en hy glimlag skors.
Ek is seker dis 'n fase.
Is jy fyn, bro?
Ek het die dag vir my gesê die kinders sterg om by die skool. Dit mag dalk 'n effek hê op sy gemaak.
Met geloof, maak nie saak wat kom nie, ons gaan daardeur kom.